All right, welcome to another edition of Bite with Butch, here with Butch Davis at FIU. And Coach, before we get into football, Anthony and Marshawn out here again on the practice field walking around. Give me a progress report on those guys. How are they coming along?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's obvious. It's unbelievably great to see him back out here. You know, Anthony is getting into running and lifting. He's actually going to potentially come back to practice next week and start off maybe doing some of the individual drills, and we'll take it slow and feed him a little bit at a time, and then hopefully, you know, we'll see him play again pretty soon. Marshawn is, you know, his surgery was actually a little bit more complicated just simply because of the location in the arm and what it did to some of the nerves and stuff, but he's making great progress. He's starting to lift and everything with the strength program. Both of them going to class, and it's great to see him back out here.
What does it do for your team just to have them out here? Yeah. And I see them talking to a lot of guys. It looks like they're itching to do more than what they can.
They would love to, trust me. I mean, in Anthony, it's like you got to put a rope on him and hold him back because he's chomping at the bits to get back out there. Both of them worked extraordinarily hard during training camp, the first part of the season, on track to have a good part. I mean, Marshawn was somebody that we were counting on being part of that offensive line rotation. So obviously now, you know, Will Pierre is going to be the next guy up that's going to take that role. But Anthony, you know, he can't hardly wait to get back in. He sees all these other guys rushing for 100 yards. It's like, hey, I better get back in there. I may lose my job.
Speaking for 100 yards, this week you got a lot of young guys in the game. What did a game like that, where you kind of got away from them pretty early, so you were able to play a bunch of guys? Yeah. What does a game like that do for you, especially going into a bye week?
Yeah, well, obviously, I mean, the attitude is really good when kids get a chance. We played an awful lot of guys in the UMass game because the score gave us that opportunity. Then last week, obviously, against Arkansas Pine Bluff, we got a chance to play an awful lot of guys. And so their attitude's good, their work ethic's good, but the most important thing is they get a chance to play in a game, and they get a little bit of that game time experience. There's no coaches in the huddle. The training wheels are off. You've got to go out and put on film, you know, how you want to play, your fundamentals, your technique, your effort, and all it can do is help the football team grow.
Does it open your eyes a little bit sometimes when you throw some of those backups in? You're like, hey, we didn't know maybe this guy could do some of these
No
things.
doubt. It absolutely does. We played some of the kids in the secondary that hadn't played very much, Benny McRae being one, Arius Duffy. We had some guys that got an opportunity that in any of the games they hadn't had much of a chance to play, and they got in the game. Their fundamentals were good. Their landmarks was good. They made good tackles. They didn't make any mental mistakes. So, you know, all of those things are really good.
Now, the bye week. How do you treat this bye week? I see a lot of instruction going on out there at practice. And what was your message here when you gathered with them at the end?
Yeah, well, the focus this entire week was basically on us. I mean, we're not going to do any of the game planning on Middle Tennessee. They have one more game this Saturday. So we kind of analytically looked at all the things where we had struggled at. Things, whether it was some of the run plays that we weren't running as well as we needed to, defensively, some of the things that we were doing. So we worked on fundamentals and on special teams. We tried to really, you know, piecemeal things that were just, you know, not big picture things, not like a whole kickoff return, but what are the things that we're not doing good that's not allowing the kickoff return to be good, or the punt pressure, the punt return. So we spent a tremendous amount of time on fundamentals. At the end, that whole message was, you know, one of the other things that we're doing is we're doing a lot of community service things. And we've had kids going out this week, have gone to elementary schools to read to children in schools. This afternoon, they're doing the same thing. We've gone to Children's Hospital, and we're also going to go in Tamiami Park. There's a lot of youth football leagues, so we've got about 25 kids that are going to go and maybe coach a little bit of youth football for 20, 30 minutes and high-five kids and tell them, you know, how cool it is to be a football player.
How good is it to have a mental break? I mean, I know you probably won't have a mental break, but just to have a little bit of a break here.
No, it's great. It really is. I mean, you know, it's been a 4-week training camp. We've played 5 games now in the first month of September, so, you know, it gives you a chance to kind of catch your breath. We've spent a lot of time with kids that have got some nicks and injuries, you know, getting treatment, limiting maybe some of their plays during practice so that when we come back to work next week and get ready for the rest of the season, you know, they'll be as healthy as we possibly can be.
Well, Mike Cunha took another bye week this week, so he's nice and well rested. He should be ready for when that conference play starts next week, right?
Well, we're going to have to raise some money for this kidnapping or something. It's almost like this guy is like, does he need a ransom or something to come to work?
I'll leave it at that. Thanks, Butch. Another edition in the books. Thanks a lot.